This is Game Day live on theday.com, and welcome to the Sussman Shapiro pregame show from Francis X. Sweeney Fieldhouse at Waterford High School, where the Lancers play host to the East Lyme Vikings. And hello everyone, alongside Casey O'Neill. I'm Mark Brown as we get ready for this one. And you know, Casey, as is so often the case on our Game Day Live, we're talking about border rivalries and a lot of history between teams.
Absolutely. Waterford High School and East Lyme High School, bitter rivalries, conference rivals, and regardless of the talent on the floor, in their best years or their worst years, these two teams, they don't get along so much, and these games are often very competitive.
Got some wall-to-wall and multi-platform coverage for you here live on theday.com. Let's go to Dave Edgecombe, who's got some ideas on how you can participate with us. Dave?
Your Twitter correspondent, and she's going to let you know how you guys can stay in touch during the game.
Yep, we've already seen a lot of tweets from the Lantern Nation tonight, so you can follow the day on social media at TheDayCT and also take part in the conversation using the hashtag GameDayCT.
And we'll be bringing those to you throughout the game, so be sure to bring us your best. Mark?
All right, thanks very much, Dave. We'll look forward to that. And, you know, normally you're going to expect that Waterford is going to be a pretty major favorite when these two teams get together, at least lately. However, injuries are going to change that equation a little bit. Let's look at the players to watch tonight, starting with Waterford.
Yeah, well, Waterford, as you mentioned, injuries to some of their best players. Donnie and Danny Martin, two of their leading scorers, are out. So tonight it's really going to be Schneider Jean-Pierre, thought of as kind of a defensive player, but tonight he's going to have to shoulder the load both offensively and defensively and do a little bit more than he's done in the past. And for East Lyme, forward senior Dean Beebe, he's going to have to come up pretty big tonight for the Vikings. Yeah, East Lyme losing their leading scorer last year, an all-state caliber player. Beebe's going to have to come up, and East Lyme's going to be searching for points here in the opening going. They're not sure where their scoring is going to come from. So a lot of big questions for these teams to answer tonight. Now, we've got an interesting story to tell you about four Waterford players who had a unique opportunity this summer playing on the practice squad for the WNBA's Connecticut Sun. They were surprised to find out just how tough their female opponents can be.
Working out with those girls was definitely something I didn't expect.
It's more aggressive and a faster pace than I actually thought it was.
They were definitely like way harder, stronger, faster. Obviously there's like a mentality that WNBA is, and that's good. But once somebody gets into the gym with them, they go hard.
Jeremy, the trainer, was my trainer in high school. We got an email going, and he originally said, you know, we want some point guards only. So I said, well, I got a few good point guards. He goes, well, I don't know too many high school teams that have, you know, 3 or 4 point guards that could really, you know, give us what we need. I said, well, look, you know, take my 4 guys and no hard feelings. If you're not going to work out, not going to work out. But, you know, all I heard, you know, they went up there consistently. I heard nothing but good things from them.
Well, I was guarding Allison Hightower. She was very quick with the ball. She was very elusive.
Kelly was extremely physical. I didn't really expect it. She threw me around a couple times.
Missy Bass, her screens are ridiculous. It's like hitting a brick wall. It's crazy. That made me want to hit the weight room hard. Like as soon as that first practice I went to after that, I was like, oh God, like I gotta do something.
Being around a professional setting, you can't really, you know, replicate anywhere else. You know, I don't care what they do in the summertime. So they really got a little bit more of a business approach to practice, I think, which helped them. Skill-wise, they picked up on things. I mean, they're obviously playing against really good players. And they got a little bit tighter as a group, which is what was a big goal of it too.
Well, just an incredible experience for 4 high school kids to get in such a professional environment. It was a big wake-up call too, wasn't it?
You know, so many things I like about that story. An opportunity for Waterford to get better, but more than that, an opportunity for 4 high school boys to really get to experience how hard the women of professional basketball work, and then, quite frankly, get taught a little lesson in the meantime.
Well, East Lyme and Waterford are getting ready to go live on Game Day on theday.com. When we return, we'll get to know East Lyme forward Jordan Edwards. You'll want to see his story next on Game Day.
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. I think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's That makes it pretty rewarding and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Thank you for putting MJ Sullivan Hyundai in the top 15 in the country. We've just been notified that we have won the Hyundai President's Award. We rank in the top 15 dealers nationwide for customer satisfaction, and we're the only dealer in Connecticut to win this award. Consider this, a good deal is not price alone, but it's the service you receive during and after the sale, and that's been the driving force of MJ Sullivan's for nearly 30 years. So come to the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com, and I personally guarantee you'll be satisfied.
Welcome back to the Sussman Shapiro pregame show. Game Day live on theday.com. East Lyme in Waterford to take on Waterford. Now, East Lyme senior Jordan Edwards was born with nerve damage that left his right arm almost completely paralyzed, but the disability did not stop him from making the Vikings varsity basketball team this year.
This is going to be my first time playing Waterford. So I'm kind of excited to play them. You know, I'm gonna have the same mentality I've had my whole life. Just go out there, you know, show them that I'm there to play and not to be trampled on. To be honest, I just want to show kids that are younger that might have this disability that you can do whatever you want. I want to be that center. I want to be the guy that kids want to look up to, and kids to just say, hey, you know, this guy's doing it. If he's putting in the work, you know, why can't I? I've had this since I was born, like during birth. It's nerve damage in the whole left side of the arm, and it caused it to paralyze, so I can barely move. I have no wrist bone. My wrist is supported by titanium.
Jordan Edwards.
Does he inspire you?
Absolutely. Ever since we're young, 8 years old, 9 years old, seeing Jordan play, he gets on the court and he embarrasses you, you know, because he just goes so hard, and he has to work twice as hard to, you know, work with all of us, and he does it great. He's been doing it since middle school, and it's great that he's finally getting the recognition he deserves.
I first heard of Jim Abbott middle school. I thought, wow, this guy can pitch in the MLB. You know, why can't I play sports like that? Why can't I play basketball? And I want to be just like that for younger guys. Just say, hey, if he's doing that with his disability, why can't I do that with my disability? I think any kid would say this, just trying to be the best one out there pushes me.
Well, I don't know what more to say about that, but inspirational. There's so many great stories in all of sports and high school sports. This is another one.
You know, I think the two things that I like most about it is that Jordan wants to be a role model. You know, he wants other kids to realize that, you know, this isn't a limitation for him. This is something that he embraces, and it's part of who he is. But the other part was Dean Beebe's reaction. I mean, Beebe lit up when talking about Jordan as, like, you know, what an inspiration this kid is. How can you not go out there and bust your butt in practice when he's out there doing it like that? So, you know, a real role model for young kids and for his high school teammates.
All right, we'll be tracking the story of Jordan throughout today's game as we get ready for the start. Almost ready for the opening tip-off. The East Lyme Vikings at Waterford High School to take on the Lancers. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The future is now.
I am in control of my next 4 years.
Education is our passport to the future.
Live the life you imagine.
There are no shortcuts to any place worth going.
This is my classroom.
This is my classroom.
This is our classroom.
Education is the future.
Do something remarkable. I can be myself.
Welcome to the next 4 years.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
The following is a presentation of The Day.
Ever since we're in Little League Baseball, youth football, youth basketball, we're always brought up to hate Waterford. Waterford's always brought up to hate us.
You know, we always play them first game of the season.
The atmosphere is always crazy.
We just want to beat East Lyme. They want to beat us, so everyone gets so into it.
It's always hyped up in school. Everyone's always talking about how they want to play Waterford and how they want to beat Waterford. Seeing the blue and red just cringes.
I don't know, it's just something about East Lyme that Waterford kids don't like.
And a little cocky.
And there's something about Waterford that East Lyme kids don't like.
They're cocky. You know, they walk with their chest all big.
There's something they walk with, little chip on their shoulder. You just want to, you know, put a hard hit into them or something like that, just to show them that, you know, we're not messing around.
It really doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter what the talent levels are. When it's these two teams, they get after it.
The following.
This is Game Day live on theday.com. We're just moments away from the opening tip between East Lyme as the Vikings are in Waterford to take on the Lancers high school basketball on the opening night of the ECC season. And welcome everyone. I'm Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill. We're looking really forward to this one. And obviously a number of keys to the game. There's going to be missing some players for Waterford. We'll get into that a little bit more as we go. But our Geico keys to the game for East Lyme are what?
Well, they've got to take advantage of Craig's absence. I mean, he's a big part of the Waterford offense, and they really know that he's their best player and ball handler. So can they exploit Giannakis, who's going to be the young ball handler for Waterford? That's number one. East Lyme's got to control the tempo. Waterford wants to run. East Lyme can't let them. And then they have to finish. You know, East Lyme's been in all of these games. Last year they were in 2 nail-biters with Waterford, but they just couldn't finish. They got to find a way to do that.
As for Waterford,
well, who's going to replace Craig? You know, Donnie Craig out. Who's stepping up? They got to find a shooter because Danny Martin's also out, and he's their leading three-point shooter. And then they got to get Connor Lewis some touches, but it goes against their offensive philosophy. He's a post player, not someone who can help them run. So they really got to figure out an offensive identity tonight.
Both teams are going to learn a lot about their teams tonight. Let's start with our starting lineups for East Lyme, presented by Philomena's Restaurant. So East Lyme will start Jared Ayers, Jack Powers, Dean Beebe, Tom Walker, and Christian Brown. A couple of those names kind of jump out at us. We talked a little bit about Beebe. There's a lot of talk about Christian Brown as well.
Yeah, the coaching staff really likes Brown. They said he's got a great skill set. Don't know if he's ready yet to step up and lead a team, but they're certainly going to give him the opportunity.
And the starting lineup for Waterford, well, it may not be exactly what most of the Waterford fans had in mind. We talked about those 2 key guys out in Daniel Martin and Donnie Craig.
Yeah, so Isaiah Jones is going to really have to take the lead for him, as well as Michael Giannakis. We saw the key player in Schneider Jean-Pierre, and their big guys, Kyle McCormick and Connor Lewis as well. But for Waterford tonight, it's going to be about who takes the place of their 2 leaders, their 2 offensive players, and it's going to be a tough test for them right out of the chute.
Well, the atmosphere is already starting to get fired up as Lancer Nation is in full force. We're getting ready for the opening tip and the national anthem. Maxine Adamson and Hannah Schonenberg will perform tonight's national anthem.
Will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
Thank you, Maxine. Thank you, Hannah. Maxine Adamson and Hannah Schonenberg, a great rendition of the national anthem. We're ready for basketball on Game Day Live at theday.com. It is East Lyme, the Vikings, taking on the Lancers of Waterford in the opener for both teams. Boys basketball openers tonight across the ECC. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sussman Shapiro Law Firm, the largest law firm in Eastern Connecticut, and Norwich Free Academy, the choice of students in southeastern Connecticut.
Officials for tonight's game, we've got Roger Warner and Tom Mish, veteran officials well known to the ECC, and a good crew to have here in the opening tip between two teams who are going to be a little bit rusty as they get into their first game action of the season.
So East Lyme in their road maroon, the home whites of the Lancers with the blue and red trim. East Lyme will be going left to right as you watch. Jack Powers jumping it up, but the tip controlled by Connor Lewis of Waterford.
Right off, we see East Lyme in man-to-man.
Lewis takes it right to the basket, stripped away. Good transition defense after the BB steal. Vikings will set up.
See the Vikings content running a half-court set. They said early they want to control tempo.
Entering down low. Turnaround jump shot will not go for Tom Walker. And the rebound goes to Kyle McCormick in the starting lineup tonight.
Waterford definitely has some size, even with players out, and they're going to try to exploit that rebounding advantage.
Isaiah Jones, the drive, and he was denied right at the rim. Dean Beebe coming over to make the block.
Beebe, one of the best athletes out there on the East Lyme side of things, got up high that time, but you're going to see that often to the basket for Waterford.
Got to get it in. John Pierre brings it back out. Giannakos gives it right back to him. Now Giannakos runs off a screen. Can't hit the runner. Putback won't go for Lewis. Corner jumper is good to open the scoring. Tom Walker.
Always good to get that first bucket under your belt. East Lyme getting on board first, and I'm sure Walker with the first basket of the season feeling pretty good about that.
Almost a minute and a half in. Just 2-0 East Lyme.
East Lyme extending the man-to-man out a little bit. Jones content holding on to the basketball, though.
Being guarded very closely by Jared Ayers. Now Jean-Pierre swings it back to Jones.
Jones will reset. Waterford trying to get to the basket, running a little bit of a weave.
Jean-Pierre, tough runner. Followed it up, collected by Jones.
Waterford definitely going to try to get to the basket. You're going to see already they do not have a jump shooter that they're comfortable with.
Giannakos finds the cutting McCormick for the first basket for Waterford.
Giannakos, only a sophomore, needs to step up and provide leadership here. Nice look that time to Lewis.
Beebe, the long pass into the corner. Walker had it blocked, and now here come the Lancers. And a whistle in transition, foul on East Lyme.
Lancer Nation in the early going, loud. It's going to be a continued theme that we see throughout this game. The Lancer Nation, one of the primary reasons why Waterford plays so well at home.
First foul on Dean Beebe. For substitution into the game very quickly for the Vikings, Greg Swenson, number 20, is in. Giannakos' jumper is off the mark.
Walker, good rebound that time, boxing out. East Lyme again here, comfortable in the half court, trying to slow the tempo down.
Beebe tried to split the defense, almost lost it. Now has it inside off the beautiful feed from Swenson. Swenson came off the bench, made a great delivery for the two.
Good vision that time. East Lyme's going to try to get it, but quickly here.
Jean-Pierre blocked, but McCormick is there. A surprise starter for Waterford due to the injuries. He's already got 2 buckets.
Yeah, Waterford's going to look to push.
That foul is on Waterford's Kyle McCormick. His first.
And with all those injuries, the one thing is that the Waterford will be a little bit thin, so they certainly cannot afford any foul trouble from some of the bigger guys.
Definitely something Greg Woods was concerned about. Figures he may only play 7 deep tonight. Good ball movement to the corner. That's Christian Brown, the sophomore.
We talked about him in the opening. The coaches love his skill set right away. No fear, drilling a 3 from the corner.
Nice drive and dish from Giannakis. Now he'll bring it back out. Schneider Jean-Pierre had a good look from 3, wouldn't go. Here comes Brown, splitting defenders in transition. May have over-penetrated. Ball out of bounds. Will stay to the Vikings.
A little sloppy here in the early going, as you'd expect from 2 teams opening up their season. Waterford certainly trying to push, but maybe doesn't have the personnel yet to really get that done. East Lyme trying to learn what their offensive identity is going to be, but I like what I'm seeing from Christian Brown.
Air ball tossed up by Tom Walker, and the Lancer Nation lets him know about it.
We talked about Waterford's side of things. East Lyme extending pressure out now, trying to exploit Giannakis.
Schneider Jean-Pierre still handling. Wants to drive. Oh, blocked beautifully by Beebe. Connor Lewis sends it back out. And with 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, East Lyme with a 7-4 lead.
You can see East Lyme senses that they definitely know who they want to pressure. They want to stay away from Isaiah Jones, but the rest of the ball handlers, including Giannakis, they want to pressure.
A great look from Giannakis, and again, some tough defense at the rim. A foul call that time, but every time Waterford's gone in there, hadn't been easy.
No, Waterford wants to get to the basket, but East Lyme's got size and toughness, and they are not going to let easy baskets occur around the rim. They are going to do some hard fouls, and this time we're going to have to see if Connor Lewis can earn him from the line, because he went up strong.
Connor Lewis did not start playing basketball to the 8th grade, about 6'4". Good athlete, more of a defensive and putback guy last year. This year things should change offensively for him.
Yeah, they're going to try to get him a lot of touches in the early going. He really is their only post presence, and that size is going to come up early and often.
There's some size there with the block. East Lyme is back on defense. Giannakis gives it to Jones.
Lewis doing a really nice job pressuring Giannakis.
Jones gets into the lane. Again, the Lancers don't mind backing it back out and resetting. Very patient.
We knew they wanted to pressure Giannakis. So every time he touches the ball, Lewis really, really extends pressure.
Here's Giannakis into the lane, looks for the lob, and turned it over. He was looking for Connor Lewis. A lot of pressure on any first-year point guard, but when you're a sophomore, actually both teams with sophomore point guards, a lot of pressure on the varsity level for those guys to run their teams.
Yeah, and you can see already it's Giannakis is trying to be patient, but at the same time he's got Brown in his face, really extending pressure, and he's trying to make good decisions. That time just a little long of the lob.
Another substitute in for East Lyme, 22, Will Butler. Had it knocked away momentarily. 3 from the corner is off the mark. Logan Banker, who's just come in. So Jim Cunningham has gone to his bench early. Swanson drives and draws the foul. Check that, Swenson. and he'll have 2 free throws.
Again, we talked about the size. Waterford has McCormick. Is probably the biggest height they have out there, and Lewis the biggest body, and certainly Jean-Pierre is long and lengthy. So they do have some size out there, but they are not as big as East Lyme is along the front court.
So Swenson misses the first. And misses them both. Jean-Pierre with a rebound.
East Lyme looks like they're staying in man-to-man and content on pressuring the specific ball handlers.
Lewis inside, splits 2 defenders, almost lost it. Jones will fire. Jean-Pierre the offensive rebound, somehow tightrope the sideline and then lost it. Quick ball movement, open look for Beebe, and a big rebound from Connor Lewis.
Waterford looking to run.
Giannakos gets baseline. Bounces it in for McCormick, taken away by Swenson. Swenson's made a big impact off the bench. He's going to take on 2. McCormick the rebound.
Waterford right now only has 2 offensive sets. They're trying to either get to the rim or get the ball into the post. They have not really had a jump shot successful yet. They're really, really missing Martin right now.
40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Waterford has as many turnovers, 5, as points. A miss from Jones. Jean-Pierre knocks it away. It'll stay with East Lyme with 22 seconds to go in the first quarter. More substitutions, including the first from Waterford, as Jacob Mangual checks into the game.
And you can already see Greg Wood said he was going to be thin, rotating maybe 7 guys. East Lyme, on the other hand, Coach Jim Cunningham, much more comfortable rotating a lot of bodies in and out. He's going to try to win the war of attrition here.
.15 seconds to go, first quarter. Couple of skip passes across the zone. Now 9. 5 seconds. Walker fires, won't go. Giannakis fights for the rebound. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. A low-scoring first quarter that has the East Lyme Vikings leading the Waterford Lancers 7-5 as we head to the second. Watching Game Day.
And a little cocky.
There's something about...
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. I think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's makes it pretty rewarding, and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Welcome back to Game Day, live on the day.com. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill at Waterford High School with the Lancers facing the East Lyme Vikings. Vikings with the 7-5 lead as we get ready to start the second quarter. Well, we were wondering how Waterford would react without stars Daniel Martin and Donnie Craig. Well, they've had some problems on offense, no question.
Yeah, Martin was their only real shooter, Craig their biggest ball handler, and they have really struggled out of the gate here offensively. Not exactly sure where the points are going to come from.
So far, not from anywhere for the most part, with only 5 and 5 turnovers as well. Long rebound taken by Giannakos. Quickly into the hands of Mangual, gets it back to Giannakos. Giannakos has had a hard time making this offense go. at least through one quarter of play.
It'll be interesting with Giannakis handles the ball now. Brown was pressuring him before. Now it's Will Butler, but they are pressuring him again.
Connor Lewis stepped out, missed the 17-footer. Here comes East Lyme. Great looking transition there with the pass, and now the tie-up underneath.
A little bit of a role reversal going on right now. East Lyme, who is not a team that they said they wanted to control tempo, but they're running right now because they're trying to take advantage of the Waterford personnel and a swarming zone that Waterford has going on.
Schneider Jean-Pierre trapped where you don't want to be. Just over half court. Somehow he got it to Lewis.
East Lyme pressure really bothering Waterford with the lack of ball handlers.
Schneider Jean-Pierre will handle the point for now. Crossing over, lost his balance, looking for Giannakis, but he couldn't find him. And another turnover for Waterford.
Yeah, right now Waterford is not only struggling to figure out who the primary ball handler is going to be, but offensively, what do they want to do? They have no jump shooters, and the size of East Lyme and the pressure of East Lyme is making it difficult for them to break it down off the dribble.
East Lyme has moved the ball well against the zone. Tough little floater. Won't go. The block inside. Second of the game from Connor Lewis as Walker tried to score, and East Lyme touched it last.
Off of Walker's foot that time. He tried to put it to the floor to go up again on his own rebound. It went off his foot. Full court pressure now by East Lyme. They are really ruffling Waterford's feathers with this pressure.
Jones saved him from another turnover. So they put more guards on the floor, really a four-guard alignment here for the Lancers, with Connor Lewis as the lone big man.
Looks like they're going to try to break down off the dribble, but really no ball handlers. East Lyme pressure.
What a play by Tom Walker. Gets it up court for the lay-in from Will Butler.
A very aggressive pressure defense from East Lyme right now, causing a lot of problems for Waterford.
And Jim Cunningham urging his troops to get up the floor and put more pressure on. Jean-Pierre. Nothing going right for the Lancers here.
Not a good shot that time by Jean-Pierre. Rushing it, trying to get his team back into the game. But right now, East Lyme, who has the bodies, by the way, too. We talked about the Waterford injuries. We see East Lyme throwing waves after wave after players, 8-9 guys in this game. And you can see already the mantra is going to be pressure, pressure, pressure.
Jared Ayers gets into the lane. Oh, fadeaway off the board.
Ayers was their leading three-point scorer from last year, shooting 31%. That time inside the line, but a little bit of offense. And right now, Waterford getting a deficit. Where are the points going to come from?
Kevin Johnson, number 1 for Waterford, is in for his first appearance. The 5'3" sophomore. Jones the drive. Lewis the rebound. Blocked the first time, lost it the next. And East Lyme has another stop.
Lewis that time tried to assert himself, but the East Lyme pressure not backing down.
And East Lyme turns it over.
You see Coach Greg Blood's not happy right now. He thought Lewis got hammered down there under the basket. Certainly the officials allowing contact.
They are. They're letting them play. They're letting the big men go after block shots. But I can see why they like Connor Lewis. He goes up strong in there.
He certainly plays with a lot of toughness down there, something Waterford needs right now because they are really struggling on the perimeter.
Giannakis pulls up and fouled on the jumper by Dean Beebe, and that's 2 on him.
You see right away East Lyme going to go to its bench very early and often, so those 2 fouls on Beebe, we might look down the road, but East Lyme's got plenty of bodies. And it's crucial if you're Waterford, you've got to knock down foul shots. You are getting very few easy looks at the basket. When you get to the foul line, you've got to make free throws.
And Giannakis makes his first.
I like what Waterford did getting Kevin Johnson into the ball game. With Johnson and Jones, they have 2 ball handlers. It's going to free Giannakis up to drift around the perimeter. He might be their option for the 15 to 18-foot jump shot.
And Giannakos makes both. Coach Greg Woods was a little frustrated that that substitution took so long in the middle of free throws, affecting Giannakos' rhythm, but he ended up making them both anyway. 4:17 to go in the first. Pull up from Giannakos, has his own miss between two defenders. Knocked away, and it's going to be East Lyme ball.
Well, I already very much like what Giannakis is trying to do right now. Only a sophomore. Michael Giannakis is definitely assuming the leadership role offensively, trying to make something happen. A good shot. Got it into the foul line extended, just missed the jump shot.
Here's Christian Brown. Greg Swenson enters down low, and a foul from behind by Jacob Mangual.
Got an elbow in the back that time. A little bit too much lean. East Lyme will take it under the basket right in front of Lancer Nation.
Brown is left open for three. Hit one before. Tip back will not go for Jack Powers. And as bad as it's been offensively, Casey, for Waterford, hey, they're only down 4.
Right in this thing. East Lyme, who we knew was going to struggle to score, has as well. Ill-advised that time by Jones.
Over penetration and then lost. No numbers for Walker, and he lost it. Giannakos spins inside and puts it home.
Oh, major league move that time by Michael Giannakis with the spin.
3:20 to go in the first half. Waterford's back within 2. Walker with 2 defenders around him. He traveled.
A little extra step that time. Waterford sensing a bit of momentum. They're going to get McCormick back in this game as soon as possible for Mangual. So now Waterford's back to 3 true ball handlers and the biggest size that it has.
4th East Lyme turnover. That's only half the number that Waterford's had. Giannakos in the corner. Pull-up jumper. Almost banked that in from the corner. That's hard to do. That's why it didn't go.
Giannakis, though, not shy. Clearly Waterford's main object on offense right now.
Long three-pointer won't go. That was Logan Banker trying the 3.
Down only 2. Hard to believe with all those turnovers and missed shots.
Giannakos will try a 3. Connor Lewis, the offensive rebound. Steps through and puts it home. Look at this. We're tied at 11. 2:25 to go in the first half.
Wow, if you're Waterford, you've had 8 turnovers, a bunch of missed shots. You can't handle the ball offensively. To be tied right now has got to feel pretty good. Let's see who responds for East Lyme. Oh, another costly turnover.
Now 5 for East Lyme, and Waterford's continued to turn it over a bit, but not at the pace that they did in the first quarter, and now it's East Lyme turning it over more recently, a total of 5 for the first half.
East Lyme trying to find a comfortable group right now to provide them some offense. Waterford seems content with Lewis and Giannakis as the offensive mainstays.
And they're the 9th turnover of the first half for Waterford. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Low scoring affair. Left alone. Banker for 3. This time he hits.
Left wide open on the left side. Banker, nothing but the bottom of the net that time. Big shot for East Lyme, getting him back on top.
Comfortably beyond that 3-point arc. Plenty of range there. Lewis wanted it in the post.
Yeah, you got to get him the ball. Johnson that time had Lewis. You got to get him the ball on that low post when he's got that position.
Quick little turnaround. That one won't go. Still after it. East Lyme clears. Here comes Ayers. He will challenge, and why not? Goes right up and over Johnson.
Little 5-point run from the Vikings.
Jones has it swatted away by Powers.
Momentum shifting back and forth this time. Now it's back on the side of the Vikings. 5 points unanswered, and now a big block.
Schneider St. Pierre is back in. He will replace Isaiah Jones for Waterford. First appearance now from number 11 for East Lyme, Jeremiah Northcutt, as they go deeper and deeper into their bench.
A good look that time from Johnson, but Lewis couldn't finish.
East Lyme has been really looking to push it.
Waterford playing a very aggressive, swarming zone, making things sloppy.
Ayers brings rain but can't hit. Lewis the rebound.
Waterford getting real good minutes from Kevin Johnson. He's really settled down the point guard job, allowed Giannakis to free up some shots, and you can see Waterford needs to get Connor Lewis some touches down low.
35 seconds to go in the first half. That's a three off the bench. Kevin Johnson, the smallest player on the floor, comes up with a big shot, and he pulls the Lancers back within 2. And a timeout, Waterford.
And you see the Waterford Nation is all kinds of hyped up right now. Really good minutes. I think the key to the game for Waterford so far has been when Coach Greg Woods got Kevin Johnson into this basketball game. It allowed Giannakis to get out onto the perimeter, and it gave him a real true ball handler. A risk with his size and inexperience, but that really settled down them offensively. Giannakis is now the perimeter player, and Lewis is now the post player, and Johnson handling the point. That's been the key for Waterford. For East Lyme, they're just running guys. They're running. It's a numbers game. They're just trying to run numbers out there and find what sticks. And their best success offensively has been off of broken plays, but they still haven't found a real good offensive rhythm yet either.
As evidenced by the 16-14 score, nearly 2 quarters in the books. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Great atmosphere here inside Francis X. Sweeney Fieldhouse, the home of the Waterford Lancers. Their vaunted student section in full voice today. Didn't have a lot to cheer about in that first quarter, but their team has begun to come alive, though still trailing by 2. 30 seconds to go in the first half. East Lyme ball, and Waterford is up to press.
They will. Waterford wants to make this last 30 seconds ugly.
Ayers releases long. It's knocked away by the hustling Kevin Johnson.
There's very little chance. I think East Lyme would be content holding for the last shot, but they don't have the ball handlers to do that, and with the pressure and swarm that Waterford's going to put out, you're going to see an early shot just because it's going to end up being a broken play.
In Brown to Brown. 25 seconds left. Johnson hounding Brown, who gives it up. There's Northcutt. Now down low for Powers. It's nothing. Scramble for the loose ball. East Lyme has it. 10 seconds to go.
Watch the cheering session start chanting early.
Oh, beautiful little fadeaway from Brown. 2 seconds left. The launch from midcourt almost goes. Kevin Johnson really turned things up in the second quarter, sparking Waterford. But right now what we're looking at is East Lyme thinking about the possible road upset, giving Waterford all kinds of problems after 2 quarters of play. So halftime in Waterford. We'll take a break here live on Game Day, theday.com in just a moment. But right now we've got Dave Edgecombe with Jim Cunningham.
This season was about your defense making a statement and finding their identity. You hold them to 14 points. What have you liked from your defense thus far?
Hey, we love the energy and the contesting of as many shots as possible. You know, you keep them at a 5-point quarter and then a 9-point quarter and a 14-point half. You give yourself a chance to win, and that's what we're looking to do.
And your sophomore, Christian Brown, has looked sharp handling the ball, a little confidence getting his shot down. What have you liked from him so far?
He's getting us into what we want to run, and then when he's opportunistic, when the opportunities are there, he's knocking down shots, and it's helping us out.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Jim Cunningham with a lot to be happy about, a 4-point lead on the road at Waterford. Halftime report is coming up here on Game Day live on theday.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
We can all talk about various cases that we've had, but one case we're particularly proud of is one where Matt Schaffner, one of my partners, represented a family who lost someone in the attacks of 9/11. Matt was very diligent and was able to help that family. We weren't compensated for that because we felt it was important to give back not only to that family, but to the community as well. The personal satisfaction of representing that family was immense. Overall, I think you'll find that the one word that describes Sussman Shapiro is dedicated. We are dedicated to our clients' causes. We're aggressive as needed, but at the end of the day, the client leaves here knowing that not only did we do a good job for them, but we also cared about them as an individual or as an institution.
Welcome to the MJ Sullivan halftime show. Waterford and East Lyme locked up in a very tight battle. Game Day live on theday.com. And we've got Dave Edgecombe, who has been roaming the grounds here inside the field house. Dave, what do you got?
I'm here in the heart of Lancer Nation, where they got shirts, they got masks, and they got a Capes Crusader, not to mention one of the nicest faces you'll see in a long time. They've got one of the loudest student sections you'll see in the ECC, and they think in the state.
Lancer Nation is just second to none.
The best student section in Connecticut.
They take pride in coming to it. It's cool to come to school and support a school event. Everyone talks about it in school.
Everyone's just so spirited towards our school, and everyone just wants to be involved.
When you go to any home game, any away game, there's still kids coming from Waterford cheering us on. And that's really what motivates us to try to not give up.
It's always fun, like right when the game starts and we get the classic Lancer Nation cheer.
The roller coaster. Well, they just put their arms up and start going back and forth.
They chant, "You can't do that." That's the one that cracks me up every time.
I remember last year in the state game, we had Elena dressed up in the Lancer suit, and she ran around the track actually when they were shooting free throws.
My favorite one was when I twerked during a foul shot. Yeah, Mr. Souza came over to me and had a little talk with me.
They all believe in us and so energetic and show up to every game. It's like the sixth man that we need.
They hold us accountable. I mean, we want to be prepared and play a great game for them because they come out in such great support.
Now I'm here with Elena Sullivan, the leader of the Lancer Nation. Now, how long have you been doing this for?
Well, last year I was in the front row, so I guess last year was my first big year.
Now, what's your go-to chant when the team needs a boost?
I'd say it's a good Lancer Nation or This Is Our House, you know. But fourth quarter we do the roller coaster, and that's when we get pumped up.
That's when it really gets loud in here? Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the outfit. You told me you add something every time. Explain the scooter for everybody.
I bought this a couple weeks ago. My dad brought it in, and he painted it blue for me. So, got to bring it to every game now.
All right, and there you have it. They'll expect much more from the Waterford crowd as this game gets fired up into the third and fourth quarter. Mark, Casey?
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Lancer Nation in full voice, and they're going to be trying to cheer Waterford on to a victory, but right now it is an 18-14 lead for the East Lyme Vikings in Waterford at Waterford High School tonight. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. More from the MJ Sullivan halftime report in a moment.
At the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, our #1 goal has always been to earn your business for life. As one of the largest dealerships in Eastern Connecticut, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, we accomplish our goal by not just offering the best buying experience, but more importantly, the best service experience after the sale. That philosophy is what built this company from a single-base service station nearly 45 years ago to who we are today. So experience the difference and let us earn your business for life. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com.
The future is now.
I am in control of my next 4 years.
Education is our passport to the future.
Live the life you imagine. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going.
This is my classroom.
This is my classroom.
This is our classroom.
Education is the future.
Do something remarkable. I can be myself.
Welcome to the next 4 years.
Welcome back to the MJ Sullivan Halftime Report. Game Day live on theday.com. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill and special guest, Waterford girls soccer coach Rob Brule, who's had a phenomenal season. How's life been for you after claiming your first state championship?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me. It's been great. It's a bit surreal still, you know, when you go through a run like we did and then end it with that. It's certainly surreal.
Well, you know, you're part of a great tradition. Waterford High School athletics is certainly, programs that everyone's proud of, and now add your program and your name to the list of state championships all over the place. Talk to me a little bit about, I understand you have a player, Melina Spanos, who's going on to play Division I soccer.
Yeah, Melina, first and foremost, to go over there on that wall is something special. There's a lot of great tradition here in Lancer Nation, and to be able to say that we get to go on that wall, not that wall, it's a pretty good feeling. But in terms of the team and Melina especially, she's a driving force behind what we did all year. She's a player of the year for a reason. She's going off to Hartford to have probably a great career there. John Natal is a real good coach, a great guy. He'll do great things with her, but she's such a talented player. She's up there in the world of 6 or 7 other players of the year that we produced here, and she's just as good, just as talented, and I'm excited for her.
Well, when you win a state championship, we start thinking about, well, what's going to happen next year? How's the future look?
Well, the future looks pretty bright. We had 3 seniors on the field for the state final, with one of them hurt. So we had 2 seniors on the field for the actual entire second half of the game. So when I looked out there, I didn't know if it was nap time or we were at a playground, but it seemed like the future is very bright for the program. The kids work hard, they're energetic, they listen well. When you talk about championship teams, and the guy next to me knows about this, being a Whaler and having that pride, you look at character, you look at chemistry, you look at all those things, and these young kids really did well together at a young age, and really resemble what a championship caliber team does, and that's fight for each other.
All right, Coach Brule, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Next year. All right, you're watching Game Day live on theday.com. That's going to do it for the MJ Sullivan Halftime Report. When we come back, the start of the third quarter.
My name's Jay Berryman. I'm a director and I'm the head of the Workers' Compensation and Social Security divisions of Sussman Shapiro. I think that my favorite part of the job is just the intellectual challenge that still exists. And I enjoy the satisfaction that comes from doing a job well. When a client says, thank you for what you've done, that's makes it pretty rewarding, and why I'm doing this for 30 years now.
Thank you for putting MJ Sullivan Hyundai in the top 15 in the country. We've just been notified that we have won the Hyundai President's Award. We rank in the top 15 dealers nationwide for customer satisfaction, and we're the only dealer in Connecticut to win this award. Consider this, a good deal is not price alone, but it's the service you receive during and after the sale. And that's been the driving force of MJ Sullivan's for nearly 30 years. So come to the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com, and I personally guarantee you'll be satisfied.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save 15% or more. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, Eastern Connecticut's automotive leader for over 30 years, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai. And Philomena's Restaurant, proud to be named one of Connecticut's best family restaurants of 2013. And welcome back to Game Day Live on theday.com. East Lyme will have the basketball and a 4-point lead as we start the third quarter. Well, maybe they won't have it for that long. Waterford forces a turnover. 18-14, the East Lyme lead as we start the third. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill. And a good start for Waterford.
East Lyme coming out, pressuring the ball again, and a quick turnover the other way.
And then the foul giving up immediately by Mike Giannakos.
Always fascinating coming out in the second half of a basketball game, see what adjustments the coaches made at halftime. We'll have to see what teams are doing differently. Waterford was in a zone all the first half, but it looks like they're coming out man-to-man here in the second.
They did return to the starting lineup, not exactly the lineup that helped them get back into this game. Kyle McCormick back out on the floor, pressuring the ball at the moment. Well, 2 possessions for East Lyme, 2 turnovers to start the third quarter. We've only played 26 seconds.
Waterford in a really, really tight man-to-man that time, pressuring all 5 ball handlers. Every time the ball gets swung around, they're pressuring. East Lyme, you see here, also in a full man-to-man pressure, now trying to trap and extend.
McCormick on the baseline, steps through. May have been partially blocked. Battle for the rebound and a held ball situation. It'll be Waterford basketball.
McCormick that time, if he had spun to the baseline, would have had an easier time of it. Spun instead to the middle and right into traffic, making it a much more difficult shot.
Giannakos back out running the point for now. As Casey pointed out, second quarter playing off the ball. Ended up being much more effective. We'll see whether or not Greg Gwoods goes back to that alignment a little bit later on here in the second half.
2 good athletes when Brown guards Jean-Pierre.
Lewis challenging, couldn't hit. Putback won't go for McCormick. And stepping out of bounds was East Lyme. That was Beebe. He had possession, so I think we got to give him another turnover there.
Strong rebound by Beebe, but just not quite aware enough of where he was on the floor.
Giannakos from the corner. Hits the 3. Big scoring punch for the Lancers provided by Giannakos. He has 8 points. Waterford back within 1. McCormick the block. Christian Brown. That's his 3rd 3 of the game.
Clearly Brown is East Lyme's best offensive weapon right now and certainly their best shooter. Other side of things is Giannakos, really Waterford's only outside threat.
Check that, his 2nd 3 of the game. The other was a 2. And a travel on Tom Walker.
You see Kevin Johnson coming back into the ball game for Waterford, replacing Jean-Pierre. Johnson was the key in the first half. He ran the point, got Giannakos free. Let's see if Waterford goes back to that same offensive set.
Jones on the drive. Sweet little pull-up wouldn't go. And a foul in the rebounding.
I'm going to call it on Jones trying to follow his own miss, but Waterford with 3 true ball handlers in the game right now.
Just the first foul on Isaiah Jones. Full court pressure. East Lyme releases long. Walker drives. No whistle as McCormick was able to bother it from behind, to say the least. Giannakos open, this time will drive. Put back from Lewis.
Set up that time by a great ball fake by Giannakos to get to the rim, even though he missed the shot, allowed Lewis to clean up.
Christian Brown breaks pressure, delivers to Walker, but off his foot. Turnovers mounting for the Vikings.
Michael Giannakos really, really stepping up as the offensive leader for the Lancers right now.
Oh, it's all going right now. Kevin Johnson banks in the long one, and Waterford has their first lead.
I heard him say it. I heard him say bank.
I'm not sure I heard it. And a foul on Giannakos, who's picked up 2 quick fouls here in the third quarter.
And if there is going to be a problem, that would be the problem. Right now, the most vital player on the floor for Waterford is Michael Giannakos. They could not afford to lose him. He is their only true outside threat.
Just 2 fouls, the only 2 of the game happening here in the first couple of minutes. Oh, beautiful set play off the inbound. Wide open layup for Christian Brown, who now has 10.
Brown, the leading scorer and the go-to guy for East Lyme.
Connor Lewis. It's going to stay with Waterford.
Tempo picking up right now, Mark. You can see both teams, got their sea legs under them, starting to move it up and down a little bit.
21 turnovers combined. East Lyme with 10. and 11 for Waterford.
Powers that time, extends out of that zone, did a nice job blocking the shot of Giannakis. He had snuck into that corner.
Jones. Johnson calls out the set. Back to the near side for Jones. Very deliberate offensive possession. Now Jones the drive. Ball went in. Are they going to count this? Yes, they are. Chance for a three-point play for Isaiah Jones.
Beebe that time with the contact, and Jones a strong drive to the basket. He was trying to do that in the first half unsuccessfully. That time got body position and drew the foul on Beebe.
One free throw coming now for Isaiah Jones. Was one of those players who was selected to work out this summer with the WNBA's Connecticut Sun.
Waterford staying man-to-man.
Logan Banker looking inside. It's Beebe.
Ooh.
Blocked up top, but they're going to get McCormick with a body down low.
I thought he might have traveled before the call, but they're going to give McCormick. That's a tough one on McCormick. I think there was just a lot of activity going on, and he got caught up.
Second foul on McCormick. Given how much they've let those big men play, Casey, it was a little surprised to see the whistle on that one.
Mangual back in the game, but we talked about how thin Waterford is here in the early going. 4 quick fouls for Waterford, none for East Lyme here in this second half.
Banker short on the three, but it goes right back to him. Blocked by Lewis. All kinds of contact there. Isaiah Jones with the open field tackle.
And that is the 5th team foul on Waterford. We're not even halfway through the third period.
Wow.
5 team fouls already for Waterford.
Soon to be in the bonus. Christian Brown being hounded by Johnson. Greg Swenson in a post-up. Banker with a foot inside the line. It's a long 2. And East Lyme has taken back the lead.
We know Banker can shoot it, but you watch the pros. Ray Allen's foot has never been on the line. He knows where that line is every time he shoots the basketball.
Giannakis traveled.
Waterford's got to settle things down right now. Started to get a little bit ahead of themselves. East Lyme doing a very good job of just not letting Waterford get comfortable.
Little give and go, but Swenson had it stolen away. Connor Lewis attacks 2 defenders. Oh, count the basket plus the foul. Connor Lewis has sent Lancer Nation into a frenzy.
Dean Beebe got caught that time. He tried to slide in and take the charge, but he got in a little bit late, and a strong finish by Connor Lewis.
And that will be the 3rd foul on Dean Beebe. You've rightly pointed out, Casey, that Waterford's in trouble in the team foul department, and that is true. Right now, on the personal foul department, Dean Beebe is in some foul trouble for East Lyme.
You know, Beebe's been their most physical guy down low, but so far, Waterford has had a real easy time getting to the basket here in the second half and drawing those fouls.
Now Waterford, after that incredibly slow start, they couldn't put the ball in the basket. They didn't get many good looks in most of that first quarter. Now they've got the 1-point lead. They've been going back and forth now over the last few minutes.
It'll be interesting moving forward. Waterford has had a lot of success with Kevin Johnson running the point. We see them keeping that lineup out there. They're a little bit smaller right now with McCormick on the bench. We're going to see, I want to see if Waterford wants to continue to let Giannakis float on the perimeter or whether they're going to start trying to get the ball down into Lewis because they're really starting to get some foul trouble drawn down low. The first one of the half, but the East Lyme guys are having trouble down there with the size of Connor Lewis.
And Lewis completes the three-point play for a 2-point Waterford lead. 3:58 to go in the third quarter. Beebe will play with the 3 fouls and go right to the basket. Blocked by Lewis. He's been incredible. At least 4, maybe 5 blocks today for Lewis. Wide open underneath. And he puts it in. Connor Lewis.
Great look from Jean-Pierre finding the open Lewis. What a nice job that time. Christian Brown settles it right back down with a foul line jump shot. Nice job by Brown that time, stealing back the momentum.
10 points, 5 blocks now for Lewis. And 12 points for Christian Brown. Giannakos gets all the way in. Offensive foul.
Beebe couldn't draw the charge last time, but Swenson did that time. Got his feet down and drew the charge.
And that is the 3rd foul on Mike Giannakos. Casey, they have all come here in less than 5 minutes of the third quarter.
And that is not a person they can afford to have off the floor, but they're going to try it right now. I will be very, very interested to see where the offense comes from. Expect Connor Lewis to get a lot of touches for Waterford.
Greg Swenson brings it up. Beebe traveled before he got the shot off.
Beebe caught the ball a little bit out of rhythm. Instead of putting it to the floor, he tried to square up his feet. Couldn't do it in time. Little extra step, drew the travel.
A dozen turnovers each. And that's good news for the Lancers because they have slowed the bleeding of turnovers. East Lyme has picked up. Great block out in the corner. Mangual still has it. No basket. Offensive foul.
Great job again that time by Greg Swenson. Another charge drawn by Swenson. And now the Waterford, they're in the bonus at the next foul. They will be shooting. Wow, Waterford tried to spread it out that time. Get some space. I know they want to get the ball into Lewis in that set. East Lyme perfectly content with Waterford, bringing the ball out deep.
Here's Christian Brown. Oh, it's just a terrible post pass. Swenson wanted it against the smaller Jones. Now Jones comes the other way and challenges Swenson. My goodness, 3 offensive charges drawn by the Vikings in the last couple of minutes.
All by Greg Swenson. Number 20, Greg Swenson, has done a masterful job of getting his feet in good position. 3 charges and now 18 fouls on the Waterford Lancers.
You know, if you draw 3 charges in the game, that's pretty darn good. 3 1/4.
That's, coaches will tell you that charges are all about hustle and fundamentals, and that's exactly what he did, working hard and with good fundamentals.
Walker misses on the pull-up. Here comes Jones. Waterford looking for their largest lead of the game.
East Lyme back in his zone now. Knowing that Giannakis is not on the floor, they know that Waterford does not have a shooter.
Lots of contact on the entry, on the receive, on the move. Finally a foul called as Connor Lewis spun.
I give Coach Jim Cunningham a lot of credit. He knew right away that Giannakis was not on the floor, and he went right into that zone.
My goodness, Dean Beebe has picked up his 4th foul. Jim Cunningham electing to leave him in with the 3 fouls mid-third quarter. Retrospect will say that was not a good move.
Nice job, Mangual, that time. Foul line extended, knocks it down. And Coach Cunningham wants a timeout for East Lyme as Waterford, with its biggest lead of the game now, up 4, 31-27.
Beebe, in addition to picking up that 4th foul, limped off the court a bit. And he is now being talked to by the trainer. So all kinds of problems here for the East Lyme Vikings after such a promising start.
You got the tape out, the trainer with the tape on the side, attending to Dean Beebe. Now, Cunningham did a great job for the Vikings. He saw that Giannakis was off the floor. He knew Waterford didn't have any outside threat packed into his zone so that Connor Lewis couldn't get touches, but instead Waterford forces it in and Beebe picks up his 4th foul. So though Waterford has 8 fouls, perhaps the most important fouls are on Dean Beebe right now.
1:52 to go in the third quarter. Waterford with a 31-27 lead over East Lyme. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. East Lyme basketball, as they've not been able to cash in on their good fortune, and another turnover.
Just a bad job of communicating between Christian Brown and Greg Swenson that time. Absolutely no excuse for that turnover.
14 turnovers, 8 of them, 9 of them have come here in the third quarter, and there's still almost 2 minutes left in it.
Extended now, 1-2-2, pressure for the Vikings.
McCormick is fouled on his way to the basket.
East Lyme now with 4 fouls. A lot of fouls here in this third quarter. We talked about how much they let him play in the first half. 12 fouls here in the third quarter.
Kostelanis picks up his first foul, as East Lyme has gone 10 deep today. 10 deep in the first half alone. The hustling Swenson knocks it away.
I think it's pretty clear that we can say right now Greg Swenson is a hard worker on the defensive end. He is all over the ball, great fundamentals, and just effort.
Double teaming there, knocks it away again, right on cue.
I think tenacious is the word that they say. When you play defense like that, you're tenacious.
Swenson earning a lot of minutes here today for sure. Came off the bench and has played the majority of this game, and with good reason. Will Butler is back in, 22 for East Lyme.
Lannis is out there extended on Johnson. You know, Lewis was demanding the ball in the post. Mangual just missed him, but I like the idea getting the ball into Connor Lewis. He was really working hard for it.
And a foul in pressure, Kevin Johnson. And there is that bonus situation that's kicking in. Casey, you pointed it out in the first few moments on the foul frenzy by Waterford. And now, with 1:30 to go in the third quarter, they have arrived at the bonus. And they'll be shooting 1-1 at least for the rest of the game.
Now, East Lyme's only been to the foul line once today, and they're 0 for 2 from the line, but they are going to have plenty of opportunities moving forward. If they can make foul shots, they can stay in this game just off of that.
Every common foul. And actually, there's been a couple of fouls that have happened that were beyond the bonus, but player control fouls where no 1-1 was shot. They're almost technically now to the double bonus.
That was because of Swenson drawing all those charges.
Yep.
Waterford never got to the line.
Mangual back on top, Jean-Pierre. 2 men at the high post. This is Lewis. .105 to go in the third quarter. Mangual between 2 defenders. Take your pick. It's going to go on Greg Swenson.
Waterford really struggling. I think it's clear we're not going to see Michael Giannakis for the remainder of the third quarter. Waterford really struggling without his presence from the perimeter.
What an entry pass. McCormick made the extra pass when he probably should have gone up.
McCormick should have taken a cue from Connor Lewis, which is going up strong with the basketball. Lewis gave him an opportunity. McCormick should have gone up strong.
Oh, Jean-Pierre had that one in sights. He couldn't make the steal. A tough little off-balance shot from Butler. Now Johnson the other way for Waterford. Going to set up. Skip pass to Mangual.
East Lyme staying in that extended pressure zone.
26 seconds to go in the third quarter. Waterford with a ball and a 4-point lead.
East Lyme now switching off to man-to-man. And back to an extended Syracuse-style zone.
Connor Lewis extends the range, hits the corner jumper, 10 seconds to go, and Waterford has their biggest lead. 5 seconds left. Swenson the drive. And the buzzer beater is going to go for Jeremiah Northcutt, his only basket of the game. And it stops a big run for Waterford. So we've come to the end of the third quarter. Waterford has turned around their fortunes. They'll take a 33-29 lead over East Lyme into the fourth quarter. That's coming up on Game Day.
Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, your local Geico agent. No matter where you live or work in Eastern Connecticut, my local Geico office is nearby to save you money. Whether you're in Old Saybrook, Niantic, Norwich, Willimantic, Westerly, Mystic, or near our beautiful new office in Waterford, Geico is just around the corner from you. Call my local Geico office and start your policy right over the phone. Call Geico, where savings is our first policy.
Ready to start the fourth quarter. A rocking Francis X. Sweeney Fieldhouse at Waterford High School, where the Lancers have overcome a very rough start to take a four-point lead into the fourth quarter over the visiting East Lyme Vikings. East Lyme will have the ball as we start the fourth quarter. Glad you could be with us here on Game Day Live on theday.com. I'm Mark Brown alongside Casey O'Neill. 8 minutes to decide the winner in this one. Here comes Isaiah Jones. And he has it sent back by Jack Powers.
Waterford looking to push, of course, but East Lyme with a lot of size. There's been a lot of blocks down there by the rim. He has not been able to finish, Isaiah Jones.
Couple storylines that we're following in this game. East Lyme veteran, senior forward, leading returning scorer. 4 fouls in this one. Picked up his fourth with about 2 minutes left in the third and got a little banged up. Right now, he is not out there on the floor.
But Michael Giannakis is back in the game for Waterford. He of the 3 fouls. He is back in the game for this fourth quarter.
Jones trapped in the corner. And a timeout called by Greg Gwoods to avoid a potential turnover.
You know, we were talking a lot about the social media aspect of our game and the ability to tweet. Well, we got one all the way from the other side of the pond. NFA standout, Holy Cross standout, and UConn basketball player R.J. Evans says, shout out to my neighbor Logan Banker with the 3. Catching the game from England. Need some NFA games on here. He also watched the NFA football broadcast. Well, R.J., you're in luck because you will have an opportunity not only to see the NFA boys, but also the NFA girls. We'll be doing both sides of NFA. Of course, when R.J. was here, he was a leader of some great Norwich Free Academy basketball teams, but you'll get a chance to see them on Valentine's Day at home against one of their arch rivals, the New London High School Whalers.
Yeah, there's no end to the reach of Game Day Live on theday.com. R.J. Evans, thanks for checking in from England, and good luck in your basketball pursuits. So 7:34 to go, a 4-point Waterford lead. And they are continuing to put pressure. East Lyme breaking it quickly. And that's a good opportunity there. Jack Powers drops it in for the first points of the fourth quarter.
Nice, confident jump shot in rhythm that time. Good basket, good early flow to that from East Lyme.
Giannakis on the drive. No shot. Foul on the floor. The foul will go against East Lyme's Will Butler. And now both teams are in the bonus. So it will send Giannakis to the line.
Giannakis only a sophomore, but a good free throw shooter. Good person to have on the line for the first of the 1-and-1. And of course, on cue.
Nice job.
On cue, thanks. Unreal.
Jumper from the corner. Won't go for Northcutt. East Lyme pressuring off the miss. Nearly forcing a turnover.
East Lyme definitely extending pressure right now. They want to try to turn this thing a little bit sloppy for Waterford.
Schneider Jean-Pierre drives and kicks. And that's a double dribble. Lewis used one to control it initially.
Christian Brown back in the ballgame for East Lyme. We know he is one of their best perimeter players and also a point guard that really settles things down for them. I think both teams right now are going to try to turn up the defensive pressure.
This is Giannakos right now matched up defensively on Christian Brown. Two of the top scorers in the game. High for the rebound, Isaiah Jones.
Dangerous for Giannakos to have Brown because he certainly has to be careful with those 3 fouls.
Here's Connor Lewis. Right back for Giannakos. Kyle McCormick stepping through and fouled by Jeremiah Northcutt. 2 free throws coming.
Now, just to be clear, it's not a travel if you go step, step, jump, stop, step, or I get confused. How many?
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that hopscotch has fewer steps involved than what he just took.
Missing the first free throw, and here back into the lineup, Kevin Johnson for Waterford as he replaces Schneider Jean-Pierre.
Waterford going back to that 3-guard lineup with Johnson and Jones and Giannakos. They had a lot of success with that in the first half. It's what got them back in the ballgame.
Second free throw is good for McCormick.
And they're going to switch it up, get Giannakos off of Brown and get Johnson to pressure Brown instead. Smart move by Guads. We talked about Giannakos having those 3 fouls.
And doing a great job. He forced Brown to give it up. Jones battling for the ball and threw it out of bounds off of East Lyme player Northcutt, so it will be Lancers basketball.
Coach Guads makes a lot of very subtle moves. I don't know if they necessarily show up, but that was a very subtle move defensively that I think was very, very important to get Giannakos off.
Jones driving, dishing. McCormick can't hit.
Got to make those bunnies down low.
Ayers quickly out to Walker. Can't get the layup to go. Lewis the rebound.
Got to make layups, boys.
5:40 to go. 3-point Waterford lead. No numbers for Giannakos. They'll start again. Johnson wants the 3. He's got it.
Kevin Johnson, he's been the spark plug the whole night. Settled things down for Waterford. That's the 3rd 3.
3 threes in the game off the bench for the 5'3" Kevin Johnson.
And now Coach Guads is saying, take a little bit of the air out. Slow it down a little bit. Run it. Run an offense now. Run an offensive set.
Johnson drives. Wraparound dish, found the wrong guy. And a foul in transition.
Ticky-tack on McCormick that time. Just reaching in unnecessarily. A little bit tired. But that is going to get East Lyme to the foul line. And now they are in the double bonus. 3rd team foul on McCormick. 10th on East Lyme. 10th on Waterford. So East Lyme will shoot 2. Down 6, and that's going to be very important. 5 minutes of shooting 2 free throws.
So the timeout on the floor. Waterford matching their largest lead of the game. You know, it's amazing. Kevin Johnson, forget the threes, which is hard to do in a low-scoring game. He's got 9 points on 3 3-pointers. But the impact that he's had on the game on the defensive end and just facilitating the offense is what really has been his value. These 3 threes have been a huge bonus.
Yeah, and there's very few players in any sport, including horse racing, that I can call short. But Kevin Johnson's short. He's shorter than I am, and that's hard to do. But yet, at only 5'3", look at what he has done at 5'3". He has run the offense. He's made 3 3-pointers. He's played absolutely tremendous pressure defense on the outside, and he's made tons of good decisions. Just once again proving, Mark, that tall guys like yourself don't have all the fun. We short guys can bring something to the table too.
Okay, now that we've got that cleared up. 5:01 to go in the 4th quarter. Waterford with their largest lead of the game, 37-31. And it will be East Lyme's Jared Ayers, the 5'9" junior, at the free throw line.
Big free throws right now. East Lyme down 6, as you mentioned. You got to take advantage of free points. And there goes our Lancer on the scooter.
And he hits the second. So a 5-point game. More pressure from East Lyme. But they let Giannakis escape up the sideline. One-man press break there from Mike Giannakis. Open for three.
Rushed it a little bit. Ill-advised shot, up 5. Don't want to rush those three-pointers.
Nobody guarding Christian Brown in transition. McCormick rips the rebound.
Waterford got away with it right there. You got to stop the ball there. You can't let Christian Brown go uncontested and shoot from the spot he's most comfortable. They just got lucky that time that he missed.
Isaiah Jones crossing over a couple of times. Tough shot off the window.
He's been athletic all night, but now you see that starting to fall for him. Great basket that time by Jones.
7-point lead, largest of the game. Walker inside, fouled from behind. I think they might get Johnson on this one. Yes, they will.
And just like that, very quietly, a 7-point lead for Waterford.
And should mention that Dean Beebe is back in the game with the 4 fouls, and after getting a little nicked up. And now a substitution as Ayers will come off. Jared Ayers off. Back into the lineup, Kostelanis for East Lyme, number 23. The Walker misses the second, a 6-point Waterford lead. 4:06 to go.
Waterford going to pull it out, force East Lyme to come out and extend pressure. Penetrate and kick it back to their guards.
No hurry. The Lancers have been deliberate and patient often throughout this game. Good reason for it here. Under 4. One knocked away as Jones tried to find Lewis.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Guads was very happy about that decision that time by Isaiah Jones. Bring the ball back out. Bring the ball back out. No passes through traffic.
Logan Banker and Greg Swenson are back into the Vikings lineup. They're going to leave Johnson open again, and he'll hit again. His 4th three-pointer. The little man coming up big.
Kevin Johnson playing like a champion tonight.
Tough left-handed shot from Christian Brown. Beebe working inside, and he will earn the foul. Jean-Pierre wants a held ball situation, but instead he'll earn the foul.
The hard work of Dean Beebe, nicked up, banged up like you mentioned, 4 fouls, but still doing the dirty work down on the baseline. And those foul shots, if nothing else, are momentum stallers. They stall the momentum of the other direction. That 3 right there by Johnson is now stalled. East Lyme gets a chance to get some points back.
Beebe can't hit the first. Logan Banker will come out as Jim Cunningham has cycled in substitutions from start to finish here. Second one won't go either. So Waterford's largest lead, 9, can get bigger. Schneider Jean-Pierre looking to break down the defense. Gets in and charges. It's Beebe with the 4 fouls, stepping in to draw the offensive.
But Jean-Pierre that time had Johnson on the wing, set up for a 3-pointer, and just didn't see him. If he had gotten rid of it, he would have had an open 3, and instead foul on Jean-Pierre. You know, we talked about those free throws being so important, Mark. What do you got on the East Lyme side of things?
Well, when you're trying to come back, 2 for 9 from the line is not going to help. They're getting the opportunities because of the bonus, but they're not cashing them in. Christian Brown finds Jack Powers, who hits the jumper.
Powers very comfortable from 15 feet and inside. Good job by Brown finding him.
More bodies flying.
If that's on Beebe, that's it.
It is.
That's it. That's it. Going to be it for Dean Beebe, the leading scorer coming into the season for East Lyme. Tough time of it tonight down there on the low post.
So the final nearly 3 minutes will have to be played without senior returning leading scorer Dean Beebe. Last year averaged just over 7 points, 6.5 rebounds per game. Been in foul trouble in this one, and it's now out with 2:55 to go, and his team trailing 42-35.
Tough go of it tonight. He had to deal with Connor Lewis's size, McCormick's size, and the constant drives to the basket from Jones and Johnson and Giannakis. It was a tough night for Beebe. Got some early foul trouble and just couldn't avoid that fifth one. And the little man with a chance to extend that Waterford lead.
All of Kevin Johnson's points have come from behind a different line, not the free throw stripe, the three-point line. Has made 4 big three-pointers for a team that couldn't buy a basket in the first quarter. Those 12 points coming from a kid off the bench who came in to run the offense and put pressure on the other point guard. To get 12 points on 4 three-pointers has been an enormous boost for Greg Woods and his Lancers.
Yeah, really the story of the game's been Kevin Johnson. But, you know, and you're going to see the Waterford cheering section now. You have signs that say quiet. When your guy's at the free throw line, you have quiet signs. And the poor East Lyme school section up there is trying to match the Lancer Nation. You know, I know as a guard, you say to yourself, I want to go play college basketball. Maybe I want to go to North Carolina or UCLA or Kentucky. Do you think if you're a student at Waterford High School, you say, I want to go to Duke just because I want to go be a part of the best student cheering section? I mean, that's what their resume is right now, right?
That's true. So, you put your video together, you send it in with your application.
If I'm applying to Duke, this stuff's got to make it on there.
Isaiah Jones the steal. 2:50 to go. 9-point lead for Waterford.
Coach Wood says, get the ball out, get it out, make him come out and get you.
And that foul will go against East Lyme's Logan Banker.
With 2:45 remaining, we are going to see an awful lot of foul shots.
And Jim Cunningham would like a timeout to talk to the Vikings. Decides to go with just the 30. You know, Casey, in talking to Greg Woods before this game, obviously the big story is no Donnie Craig, no Daniel Martin, 2 guys that are going to be a huge part of whatever Waterford is going to accomplish this year. But what he talked about was the positive that's going to happen from the guys that get to play in place of them and get to play bigger roles in these early games without those guys. When these guys come back, this makes this a deeper team and maybe a tougher team.
Absolutely, and we asked, and one of the keys of the game was who's going to replace Craig? Who's going to step up? Well, Kevin Johnson might not otherwise have had an opportunity to show Coach Woods that, you know what, I can play at this level. I don't think if it weren't for the type of team that East Lyme is, that Johnson would have even seen time. But now instead, Coach Woods knows he's got someone who can stand the rigors of this kind of basketball game.
Big opportunity on opening night for all the players. Kevin Johnson seizing his moment, to be sure. 14 points, including 4 three-pointers. Tremendous defense and floor generalship as well off the bench. A 10-point lead, largest of the game. Isaiah Jones knocks it away. The Waterford pressure continues.
Now Waterford's going to hold. East Lyme's going to have to start fouling early, but right now it's just going to be pressure.
Giannakis is wondering why he's not at the line, but the ball goes in. He gets his 2, and the lead is 12 with 2:24 to go.
I think 10 for Giannakis.
Banker, the nice little turnaround. More pressure from East Lyme. Banker commits the quick foul on Giannakis, who will go to the other end and shoot 2.
Giannakis trying to add to the 10 points he currently has, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities at foul shots. 2 minutes remaining and 13 seconds in this thing. Every time there's a foul, someone is going to be shooting foul shots.
Giannakos. No way he called that one.
They haven't all been pretty, but he'll take the result.
He's got 11 points. 3 Waterford players in double digits. Connor Lewis with 12. Giannakos with 12. And Johnson with the 14. 2:13 to go. Waterford still with great pressure, forcing another East Lyme turnover, and Jared Ayers commits the foul with 2:08 to go.
Well, if you're Coach Gwuds, you were mentioning before the return of Martin and Craig. Imagine now if you've got your leading ball handler, your leading scorer, your best player, Craig in the game, and your best three-point shooter, Martin, comes back. Imagine now Giannakis on one wing and Martin on the other wing and Craig handling the basketball. It presents a whole different dynamic for them. It frees things up for Connor Lewis. It gives them a much more dynamic offense. And you got someone like Isaiah Jones and Kevin Johnson in your pocket that could come in and play in this game.
That wasn't a short joke about Johnson, was it?
Never. I will never make a short joke. Only against myself.
Swenson. Brown. Rebound Jones. He breaks out of the pack. Giannakos saves the turnover. And fouled on the pass off. But 2 free throws coming anyway. Double bonus for both teams.
A lot of tired bodies out there right now. First game of the year, no matter how much work you put into practice, that first game of the year is always a test of the cardio, test of the wind, and these guys are all tired right now. Giannakis has found his stroke at the line now, though.
That he has. Looking for his 15th point of the night.
And again, once again, I cursed him.
Well, Connor Lewis could have taken it up. Instead, takes possession. And Greg Gwuds uses a timeout as Lewis was under a bit of pressure there. Waterford with a 51-37 lead. Let's go back to that first quarter when they could not generate any offense whatsoever. At that point, East Lyme fans, East Lyme players couldn't be blamed for thinking, all right, they're missing 2 of their top guards. They're playing poorly. This is our chance. They played them tough twice last year. Disappointment for East Lyme. They couldn't get over the finish line. And it sure looked like this was the night that maybe Waterford was ripe for the picking. Didn't happen.
Yeah, East Lyme knew losing its leading scorer from last year and that they were going to have to replace their offense. So they knew going in that shots were going to be tough to come by. So they went out and decided to throw wave after wave of player and try to play intense defense because they figured with Waterford's best ball handler and three-point shooter out of the game, maybe they could wear them down. They're thin. And in the beginning, it really worked because Waterford couldn't figure out where its offensive identity was going to come from. It struggled to get the ball inside to Connor Lewis. As much as Jones was handling the ball well, Giannakis showed that he was much more effective on the wing and on the perimeter than he was handling the ball. So when Kevin Johnson came into the game, that's when it all turned around.
Now, Greg Gwuds said it might be just 7 deep tonight. That's all it's been. And it's been the right moves at the right times. And the players have paid that off with a great performance. Giannakos lost it at his backcourt. Wasn't hit by East Lyme. Went off the foot of Giannakis as he turns it over.
Kostalandis that time. Great defense. Got him to dribble it off his foot, which resulted in the over and back.
Nice entry pass for Tom Walker. Fadeaway misses everything, though.
Our first fans heading to the exits. East Lyme no longer fouling, but just playing really good defense.
Well, you half expected that one to go for Johnson tonight. Good penetration, but the reverse wouldn't go. Another turnover for East Lyme.
1:13 remaining. I think East Lyme is done intentionally fouling and is more concerned with just playing strong defense now.
And the first appearance by Jordan Edwards. If you were with us on GameDay live on theday.com, in the pregame show, we showed you his story, the disability to his right arm, and how he has made this East Lyme Vikings team. Now he is on the court in a varsity game, wearing number 35.
Gets the luxury of going out and banging up against Connor Lewis. Always a tough task. That's a nice welcome to the ball game of going up against, because Lewis, I think, really established how tough he is.
And if you did miss that, when we showed you earlier live on theday.com, you'll be able to see that feature. Log on to the website. You could easily find that. Well worth your time.
Yeah, if you have a chance, if you haven't, I assume that everybody around the world right now has been riveted since the beginning pregame. But if you weren't for some reason you just, traffic, snowstorm, and you just happened to come in, you got to go check out the feature on Jordan Edwards. I promise you, it will make you smile and it will make you feel better about everything.
This is Jordan inbounding the ball. Logan Banker missing the three. 1 minute left to rebound to Jones. Right now, Waterford happy to play keep away with the 16-point lead.
East Lyme relaxing off a little bit. They're going to let this thing run.
.32 seconds to go. Waterford has done what they need to do. And the turnover from Jones, who doesn't quite think that he walked.
And there comes the "This is our house" chant from the Lancer Nation. They said it would come out in the fourth quarter, and there it is. The "This is our house." Well, tonight it has been all of that.
Banker tries another long three. Lewis up high for the rebound, knocked to the floor, and unfortunate for him, with no foul called, it's a walk.
Another turnover for Waterford. They've committed a ton, but East Lyme in the second half, 13 second half turnovers for the Vikings. That's where it all went wrong. We talked about adjustments at halftime. Well, East Lyme came out with 13 second half turnovers to this point.
That three won't go. 6 seconds to go. Jordan Edwards inside, and he puts it in. Jordan Edwards gets his first varsity basket. It won't help East Lyme win, but a great moment for the senior.
What a tough rebound. One-handed, gets it with that left-handed shovel. A nice way to end the game for East Lyme on a positive note. They have some good things to take away from tonight, even though they suffered the 14-point loss.
53-39 the final, as Waterford gets it together and turns around their fortunes and comes away with an opening victory against rival East Lyme.
A lot of positives on both sides of things. Waterford, obviously, after a slow start, we talked about it, they're going to get two guys back pretty soon. They're going to get Craig and Martin back. Danny Craig just needs to be cleared off of a concussion he suffered. And then Danny Martin had an ankle from football. They're going to be cleared soon, and once they're back in the lineup, I think Waterford will look entirely different. For East Lyme, a lot of good things tonight. Good defense. We saw some things out of some players that are new. So now you move forward.
All right, a 14-point victory. We'll take a quick break here on GameDay Live on theday.com and be back with a little post-game. Waterford victorious over East Lyme.
We can all talk about various cases that we've had, but one case we're particularly proud of is one where Matt Schaffner, one of my partners, represented a family who lost someone in the attacks of 9/11. Matt was very diligent and was able to help that family. We weren't compensated for that because we felt it was important to give back not only to that family, but to the community as well. The personal satisfaction of representing that family was immense. Overall, I think you'll find that The one word that describes Sussman Shapiro is dedicated. We are dedicated to our clients' causes. We're aggressive as needed, but at the end of the day, the client leaves here knowing that not only did we do a good job for them, but we also cared about them as an individual or as an institution.
At the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, our #1 goal has always been to earn your business for life. As one of the largest dealerships in Eastern Connecticut, selling Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and Hyundai, we accomplish our goal by not just offering the best buying experience, but more importantly, the best service experience after the sale. That philosophy is what built this company from a single-base service station nearly 45 years ago to who we are today. So experience the difference and let us earn your business for life. The MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner in New London or at mjsullivanauto.com.
Welcome back to Game Day, live on theday.com. Opening night in the ECC for boys basketball. Mark Brown along with Casey O'Neill. And it wasn't a great performance early for Waterford, but in the end they got it done, and they learned something maybe about their team.
Yeah, I think Coach Greg Woods really learned a lot about some players. Kevin Johnson, of course, had the big night for him, a game that he might not have otherwise even got into. A really rough first half trying to figure out what his personnel was all about, but I want to know what he said in the halftime because they came out a completely different basketball team in the second half, turned it up offensively and defensively, and pulled away.
Well, Dave Edgecombe right now is with winning head coach Greg Woods. Dave?
Coach, first off, good win. Now, you had just hit on it. The first half lacked any flow. The score reflected it. What did you guys do differently in the second half?
I think we settled in. We had a lot of young guys playing their first time ever. And it took them a little while to get in, but, you know, they came out of halftime. They realized it's the same game. They played with a lot more energy. I think defensively we picked it up with our man-to-man, and that created some good opportunities for us. East Lyme did a good job contesting and getting back, but, you know, we were able to open it up a little bit.
And you were missing some key guys, some starters. What'd you like from the guys that did play on the field? What'd you learn about them?
They played really hard. You know, these guys that maybe in my head coming into the season, I'm thinking they're my bench guys. And now they're playing huge minutes here. It's only going to make us better when we do get healthy. But these guys compete. No matter what we have, they compete. They get after it. And that's what I'm proud of them for tonight.
You start the season 1-0, but grade this game. Grade your start. What do you like? What do you don't like?
You know, I don't like some of our silly turnovers, some of our forced shots. I think we had a point we took 3 charges in a row. Defensively, a couple breakdowns, but we held them to, you know, in the 30s, so I was happy with it. First game, I'm pleased. Great atmosphere tonight, and I'm pleased with my young guys stepping up and hitting some good shots. You know, Kevin's only a sophomore to come in, hit some big shots. It's nice to see.
Definitely. Good win, Coach.
Thank you.
Now, Kevin, bring it on in here. Just a sophomore. You guys had a rough first half. What did Coach say to you at the half to really kind of spark you guys?
Someone had to step up because we were missing 2 starters, so someone had to step up and play big in the second half.
Now, I saw you kind of feeding off the crowd. What's it like playing in front of the Lancer Nation?
It's the best. There's nothing better than it.
Now, I saw you kind of making some eye contact. What's your favorite cheer that they were going for you?
I don't know, just the Lancer Nation one.
That's it?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, go win. Go celebrate with your team. Back to you, Mark. Casey.
All right, thanks, Dave. Hey, you got to love it. Kevin Johnson, all business. All business. Ready to go back to work?
I think he could go play another 25, 30 minutes. He was full of energy on the court tonight. And, I mean, I think Coach Gwud said it. You know, these are guys that he didn't know if they were bench guys. These are the guys that he may not have even used in a game like tonight. And instead, now he's got the problem. It's like in baseball having too much. It's always nice to have too many guards, too many guys that can play.
Well, they did the job tonight for Coach Gwuds, and Waterford comes up with the 53-39 victory over their border rivals, the East Lyme Vikings. So that'll give them a little something to crow about across the border.
Yeah, they get bragging rights at least until the next time when Waterford has to make the trip out there, and we'll see how that goes. But good start to the season. You know, first game of the year, the only thing you want to do is you want to try to, you know, play hard, no injuries, learn a little bit about yourself, and I think Waterford certainly accomplished all those things.
Our first game of the season as well, basketball on Game Day, live on theday.com. No injuries for us, and that's important as well.
My hamstring.
Our next broadcast, I want to let everybody know, our next broadcast, January 17th, when the Ledyard girls visit Norwich Free Academy. So that just a few weeks away, and we're looking forward to that. Hope you'll join us for that as well. So Waterford, your final score, 53-39 for Casey O'Neill, Dave Edgecombe, and our entire Game Day live on the Day.com crew. I'm Mark Brown. So long for now, and we'll be back with you on January 17th. Good night, everybody.